Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 7. I am Ebolomo Adekunle. Top government officials on Saturday joined other Nigerians to offer special prayers to mark this year's Eid el-Kabir in Abuja. Vice President Namadi Sambo was the most senior government official at the Eid prayers held at the National Mosque because of the heavy rainfall. And speaking later with journalists, he said the season should remind Nigerians of the need to make sacrifices for national peace.
Praise be to Almighty Allah, the most beneficial and the most merciful. And we thank Almighty Allah for our performance of the Eid Kabir this morning, and pray that Almighty Allah will give us all the blessings that are in this month. I will seize this singular opportunity to extend our Salah greetings, our felicitations, and pray for the continued peace and development of our country, and call on all Nigerians to continue to be our brothers keepers, continue to cooperate with the administration of our president in order to succeed in the transformation of Nigeria into the one of the most developed nations in Nigeria, in the world. Thank you.
The Vice President and the Minister of State for the FCT, Olajumoke Akinjide, later led a delegation of Muslims in the Nigerian capital to pay homage to the President Goodluck Jonathan. Also in the team was the territory's sole representative in the Senate, Philip Aduda. Speaking while receiving the delegation, President Jonathan said Nigerians have a lot to learn about humility in service. He also said there were indications that the country is getting over its challenges.
Excellency, the Vice President, members of the National Assembly here with us, honorable ministers, and very top government functionaries, the Deputy Man, my Prime Minister, the Prime Minister of the Agriculture, and the Secretary of State and other religious leaders here with us, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Back happy Salah. We have our challenges as other nations, but once we begin to happen in a particular way, we begin to see light at the end of the tunnel. And of course, the Hajj is quite unique. We just watched the people who are performing on television. Is it that everybody wears the same thing? It shows that the kind of ranks we give to ourselves here for the earthly journey. There are no president, no messenger. That shows that we should be humble and be kind to ourselves in the spirit of the moment. We reduce. And that reminds us also about the significance of this ceremony. When Abraham was to sacrifice his son, the only one he had called the angels to replace it with the ram. And the incense they given. So a number of things that has to do with our belief system are supposed to encourage us and make us to see our neighbors as ourselves. What is happening globally now? Only yesterday, a British worker was slaughtered by ISIS. It's Islamic. What the Al-Shabaab are doing, killing innocent children and women in marketplaces, in mosques, in schools, so for us as a nation, this period, we use it to charge ourselves, to call on ourselves, to encourage ourselves to continue to pray for the forgiveness of those who are doing things that are not nations.
I also want to urge Nigerians to continue to pray to Almighty Allah, to continue to give us peace, to guide our leaders right, and to protect all Nigerians.
To all FCT residents, it's Baka de Salah. We thank God that we have seen another Salah, and we pray that God will continue to guard and to guide this administration and every resident of the FCT.
My message to Nigerians is that we should love one another and that we should live peacefully with one another, irrespective and irregardless of religion. We should love one another and be our neighbor's keeper.
Muslims in both Borno and Yobe states were compelled to trek long distances from their homes to prayer grounds to observe the Eid al-Kabir celebration. In Maiduguri and other towns of Borno State, just like the military authorities did about 2 months ago during the celebration of another Islamic festival, Eid al-Fitr, vehicles were barred from the roads to forestall any security breach. The military authorities, which had advised Muslims to perform the prayers near the residences, ensured that there was strict compliance with the instruction, as there were roadblocks on all roads, while stern-looking soldiers and policemen were deployed to prevent security breach. Many Muslims were compelled to trek long distances, with some having to trek as much as between 5 to 7 kilometers to the Eid prayer grounds that were few and scattered across the troubled town. The people of the town had to immediately return to their homes after the prayer, leaving the streets desolate, while the festival was devoid of the usual merriment. Many residents could not make it to the Shehu of Borno Palace to pay the traditional homage associated with the celebration. The colorful Durbar at the palace was cancelled because of the security situation. Acting Governor Amadu Fintiri of Adamawa State has cancelled the usual traditional homage as well as all the activities to do with the celebration of the Eid al-Kabir aimed at commiserating with the victims of Boko Haram insurgency, and instead he sympathized with the thousands of internally displaced persons in the state. A press statement by a spokesman stated that the acting governor's decision on the issue is to ensure that the celebration of Salah be done with caution, considering the prevailing security challenges bedeviling the state. Fintiri, while calling on Muslim faithful to embark on prayers to Allah to bring to an end the activities of the Boko Haram, said it is unfortunate that the insurgents has continued despite the doggedness of the Nigerian military to bring it down. The acting governor used the medium to thank the people of the state for remaining uncowed by the activities of the insurgents, who are hell-bent on disrupting the harmony and peaceful coexistence prevailing among the citizens. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has tasked Nigerians on peaceful coexistence. Fashola, who joined other Muslim faithful to offer prayer in commemoration of the Eid al-Kabir at the Lagos State Central Mosque, expressed optimism that better days lie ahead for the country and its people. He also used the occasion to admonish the Muslim faithful to put to practice the tenets of the Islamic religion in order to shape a better society.
I use this opportunity to wish all Muslims Eid Mubarak and all Nigerians peace. But whatever we truly want for ourselves lies in our hands to achieve. I am sure that all will be well, and it must be well only because we want it to be well. If it is well within us, it will be well around us, and it will be well in our nation.
In Osun State, Governor Rauf Aregbesola has asked Nigerians to emulate the virtue of Prophet Ibrahim and sacrifice for the growth of the nation. This was the basis of his message at this year's Eid al-Kabir in Osogbo, the state capital. Rashid completes this report.
This year's celebration marked the first for the new Imam of Osogbo, Sheikh Musa Anima Sham, who took over the mantle from late Sheikh Mustafa Ajishafe. Pomp and ceremony best describe the atmosphere at the prayer session as the people of Osun join their counterparts across the world to celebrate Eid al-Kabir. The congregation, including the state governor, Rauf Aregbesola, prayed for the peaceful coexistence of Nigeria. Aregbesola also admonished all to make sacrifice for the peace and growth of the country.
Sacrifice all our vices, sacrifice all our shortcomings, sacrifice all those things that we know are not good for us, for our community, for our nation, for our state. We should come out of this pure mind, good morals, and good attitude.
The 2015 general elections also received attention at the prayer session.
I want to say congratulations to all of us, Muslims and non-Muslims alike, for witnessing today's festival. And I pray that Almighty Allah will make us see a very peaceful election in 2015.
The lessons embedded in Eid al-Adha, which was brought to us by Prophet Ibrahim, is that of love, perseverance, patience, and total submission to the will of Allah. And in Nigeria today, these lessons are so important to us if nation building, national cohesion is anything to go by in Nigeria. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshobo.
The Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, has called for constant prayers for the sustenance of peace and stability in the state. He made the call while addressing Muslim faithful after the Eid al-Kabir prayer held at the Central Mosque in Kano on Saturday. Sanusi urged the people of the state to always live by the dictates of Islam and avoid committing sinful acts that could earn them the wrath of God. He charged the people in his emirate to always be law-abiding and live peacefully with one another for the development of the state and the country. He similarly enjoined parents to invest in the education of their children, particularly in the girl child. The emir called on well-to-do individuals in the society to assist the poor during this period so as to enable them celebrate the occasion with ease. Security was tightened at all the prayer grounds in the metropolis in a bid to ensure maximum protection during the Eid al-Kabir celebration. The growing insecurity in the country and the 2015 general elections formed the thrust of the sermon by the popular Islamic Society Nasrullahi il-Fatih, otherwise called NASFAT. Oluwaseyi Adegoke was at the sermon put together to commemorate this year's Eid al-Kabir. A report is presented from our studio.
The significance of the Eid al-Kabir to the Islamic faithful is a demonstration of faith and confidence in Allah. This obviously is not lost on the seminar at the prayer session organized by NASFAT. Abdulaziz Onike, he tasked Muslims on the importance of their faith, especially at this period of Nigeria's development.
Why are we doing this today? What are we doing today? We are carrying out a symbolic gesture. It's symbolic in the sense that the man who was to kill his son, to slaughter, to sacrifice his son, is dead. The child is dead too. People will be saying, why are they copying him? We are copying him to relieve that memory. We are copying him for people to be sensitized that the man who was about to slaughter his son, Allah wanted to test his faith. Not that he wanted him to slaughter his son. He wouldn't have allowed him to do that. That is the first thing I wanted people to understand. Allah wouldn't have allowed Ibrahim to carry out the slaughtering. What he wanted to do is that that it says you cannot attain piety, you can't attain right goodness until you give to me, you spend what you love most. And Allah realized that what Prophet Ibrahim liked most was his child. Okay, give it to me. And he was about to give it to him, and I said, you have demonstrated faith. You have demonstrated submission. I replace it with this ram. What we are saying in essence is the killing of ram today is a symbolic gesture to follow the footsteps of Prophet Ibrahim.
More importantly, the need for Muslims and Nigerians of all the religious background to come together and condemn the dreaded Boko Haram insurgents also received knocks from the gathering. Accordingly, President of NASFAT, Sharif Yusuf, dissociates Islam from the activities of Boko Haram.
I think the government is really doing much. What we need to do as citizens is what is required at this time. We all need to support the fight. We need to be aware, be conscious, and assist those that are fighting, those that are in the security services with information and assistance. Everybody has said it. We have said it in Islam. Boko Haram does not represent Islam. What they are fighting is beyond religion. It's not for the faith. There is no religion that I know on earth that will direct or justify the killing of innocent souls. So Boko Haram is a completely evil cause, and all of us should put our hands together to fight it.
Not done yet, Yusuf called on both politicians and the electorate to make sure that the 2015 general elections is conducted in an atmosphere of peace and tranquility.
Step, who we want to put in government. Let us ask questions. Let us look at them critically. Let us be able to know which of this is better for us, and then vote according to our conscience. We need to be knowledgeable, know what we want, look at the options on the table, and decide which one we want.
Members of the society have the strong opinion that the season offers Nigerians the opportunity of renewing their faith in Allah.
Factory workers in a Lagos company demand for justice over death of colleague. We'll bring you these details and more after this timeout. Don't go away.
Welcome you to From the Ivory Tower. On happenings around the country, varsity teachers get to air their views. Students are actually not left out. We bring you intellectual ends from the events happening around you. It is dedicated to educating the populace with a spice of entertainment.
From the Ivory Tower, Tuesdays, only on CoreTV News.
Thank you for being there. Protesting factory workers of a Lagos-based hair products manufacturing company have accused the management of ill treatment of its staff, which they claimed led to the death of one of their colleagues. The body of Atupo Wisdom, who according to them died on Wednesday, September 24th, was later discovered at the back of the company's premises. The angry workers were led into a protest by other colleagues. The angry workers say the death of their colleague is the last straw that broke the camel's back. They decry bitterly the stringent measures used by the management to compel workers to perform their duties. Omatayalo has more.
They have not permitted to work. They are working illegal. When people are dying inside, this is illegal. Please, see what we bring from Alausa yesterday. See.
These workers are bent on taking their freedom by force from the management of Linda Manufacturing Company, even if it costs them their jobs. The unjust practice, according to them, has been on for a very long time.
The guy went before his group leader, and the group leader refused to give him permission, and that was what caused the death of this innocent guy.
How can you be working here? You are not permitted to go for a sick leave. Even if you tell them you are sick, they will tell you, oh, guy, if no one works, stop work. What does that mean? It's in the constitution. I'm asking. Oh, guy, if you don't say you don't feel work, resign. It has happened to me, and I'm a witness to it. We can be sacked for what we are doing, but I don't care. Even if I am sacked, but leaving a good legacy behind is what matters most. Please, I'm begging, for God's sake, come to our aid, please.
Right in front of the Shots factory gate, the publicity secretary of the Campaign for Democracy and Workers, Chinedu Bosa, took out time to address them, promising legal action against the company.
I'm calling on the Fashola-led government to continue to seal this company until the management meets the demands of workers. And these are some of the demands. And true, they must end this piece rate work policy, where we're expected to meet a certain target. Even if you don't meet that target till 12 midnight, you are supposed to be in work till that very moment. For those who are nursing mothers, they can't go home to attend to their children. They must be in workplace until they meet their target. Sometimes those targets are as a result of their management's inability to provide the necessary tools and materials to work with. So sometimes they keep them here till 10 p.m. before they close.
Workers say they were tear gassed every time they gathered to protest. They, however, say they are bent on seeking justice as the company didn't comply with the stop work order issued by the Lagos State Safety Commission. On a mission to inquire from the Lagos Safety Commission on why the seal order was not adhered to, A member of staff who attended to us on behalf of the Director General of the Commission, Dominga Odebomi, says the Commission cannot issue any statement on it now. The protesting workers have, however, vowed to seek justice. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The number of deaths recorded from the Ebola virus disease in Liberia has risen to 2,069 according to the latest update by the World Health Organization. In the report released on Saturday in Geneva, Switzerland, the WHO said that the casualties from the scourge in Liberia was more than half of 3,431 total deaths so far recorded from 7,470 cases of the disease. According to the report, next to Liberia is Guinea, where the latest outbreak started in December 2013 with 739 deaths, followed by Sierra Leone with 623. It stated that the three West African countries were regarded as the epidemic center of the outbreak of the disease in the region. It's projected that the number of cases and fatalities may rise in the three worst-hit West African countries in spite of their efforts to end what has now become the worst outbreak of Ebola in history. We'll take another break now and we'll be back with the story outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Thank you for being there. Hong Kong's leader has warned that police will take all actions necessary to ensure government offices and schools reopen on Monday. Xi Liang called on demonstrators to allow the government and citizens resume their normal work and life after a week of disruption. Activists opposed China's plan to vet candidates to replace Liang in 2017 and are demanding fully free elections. Tens of thousands remained on the streets on Saturday night. Liang's televised comments came after street fights led to the postponement of talks between the government and the protesters. However, there were sporadic clashes throughout the day in Cork, an area that saw some of the worst violence on Friday night. On the barricades blocking some of the Hong Kong's main road, the protesters continue to face a few angry residents who believe the democracy campaign is now a futile fight that's harming their businesses. And that's it on CoreTV News at 7. Join me again at 9:45 for the primetime news. Thank you for watching. I am Ebolomo Adekunle.